you were! It's a hard knock life for us. It's a hard knock life for us. No one cares for you, a snitch, when you're in an orphanage. It's the hard knock life. It's the hard knock life. It's the hard knock life.
Maybe I'm a little young, but you don't know what I've become. Can't you see it in my face? The demon living in disguise, but you can see the killer in my eyes. I've got a look you can't escape.
Good Monday morning, guys. Are you ready? We get to shit all over a socialist today. One of my favorite things to do, especially this one. Yeah, opening Hard Knock Life, one of my favorite musicals, Annie, right? The original one with starring Carol Burnett. The newer one that they remade, not so much. But it is a hard knock life out there if you listen to Hasan. Because, me getting up here and doing a stream, or, we'll get together with my co-host over on Clear as Mud, or if I, whatever, it's streamers out here. It's a grueling life. It's really hard on us. It's so taxing. And, you guys just don't understand. You just don't feel the pain, You just don't understand, right? I end up laughing my butt off. Not me driving a 2-ton machine on a job where people who don't pay attention get hospitalized and maimed, or if not killed, Lamal, but Hasan got it rough. Now, see, Iron Duck, you're starting to clue in. You're starting to get, and I commend you. I commend you, sir. Yes. All right. So let's get into this right off the bat. We're not even going to play around this morning. I like people who make me laugh. I like people who make me think. But above all, I like people who make me coffee. And that person this morning was me. I made my own coffee. So yes, I like. Are we back? Are we back? I tell you what. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know. My stupid OBS. It did it yesterday to me as well. I don't know what's going on, guys. I don't know what's going on with it. Hang on here. Let me do this. I think it has something to do with my Stream Deck. Because it's like when I use it to change scenes, it's when it does it. But anyway, we'll see what happens here. So let's try this again. As I was saying, I made my own coffee. So yes, of course, I like myself. So a clip from one of Hasan's recent streams kind of blew up over the last couple of days. Yeah, it's been fighting me here lately. I don't know what's going on with stupid OBS. But in this clip, there was 2 actual clips that came out. So this was the first clip. This was clipped out by this particular one was clipped by Twitter user TC Brady. And let's listen to what our favorite Twitch streamer here has to say.
Yes, a real job can be gruesome. A real job can make you very tired, but a real job doesn't suck the soul out of you. You know what I mean? In the same way that 9 hours of streaming absolutely will. So, yes.
So that was the first clip, right? Well, some of Hasan's supporters, right? Because he's got supporters, he's got fans, right? They said, "Oh, that's out of context. That's out of context. You what was it they said? The clip chimp, right? But so let's listen to the one of his own defenders. Let's listen to the full statement here, what he says.
No. Social battery wise, unless you're in fucking retail, it's very different. You're out of touch. I'm gonna die, dude. There's motherfuckers who are accountants in here and they're misunderstanding what I'm saying. A real job does not expend your social battery in the same fucking way as someone who did a sales job, a real job, okay?
Hang on, let's back that up.
Expend your social battery in the same fucking way as someone who did a sales job, a real job, okay? I'm telling you, as someone who did both.
Okay, he did both. Do you guys know what his sales job was that he did? He worked for the Real Young Turks as a salesman, selling ad space or selling, trying to get brand deals and stuff for the Real Young Turks. That was it. It wasn't like he was sitting in one of these, windowless, cubicled rooms where there's like 40 or 50 people elbow to elbow with phones in front of them and a computer screen, and they've got robo-dialers dialing out, trying to cold call people across the United States into, purchasing aluminum siding or something like that, right? That's not what we're talking about here, right? It's not like he was sitting there with a phone jammed up against his ear for, 8-9 hours a day, constantly being cussed, hung up on, you name it, right? That's not what he was doing. Don't let him soft sell you this load of bullshit that he's trying to peddle here. This guy comes from a very, very affluent family. You'll see where I've got clips of this where he talks about how he grew up in a very affluent family, right? As a child. He's always had money. He's always come from a position of wealth, right? And decadence. This guy has never known what it means to scrape together money to try to feed a family. He doesn't know what it means to sit there and go without something to eat for supper that night so that your kids eat and you don't. This kid has this asshole has never, ever in his entire life ever had to go without for anything. Period. He is so out of touch with what is real. Anyway.
Like 9 hours of constant performance and people pleasing taps you out from social scenarios. After 9 hours of that, I could probably do fucking physical labor. It would not bother me, but I can't fucking do more social shit. That's my point.
So his whole argument, his whole gripe here is that because he sits in front of a webcam for 8 or 9 hours a day, which he really doesn't do, right? Everybody knows the running joke about him, how he gets up and leaves, and that stuff playing. And now he's got a scene where he flops it up to where it looks like he's down there in the corner, but he's really not, right? Because he gets up and he goes, to the restroom or gets him something, whatever, right? And now listen, I'm not saying that if you're working a job and you're doing it for 8-9 hours, whatever, that you don't need breaks. Like you have to eat, you have to get up and walk around, you have to go to the restroom. I'm not a monster. I'm not, right? But we have to also understand something. This is the career that this man chose to go into. And to sit here and he's sitting there trying to say that, that this whole segment that he did here was taken out of context. But even in the context that one of his own supporters puts out a larger clip of it or a bigger segment of it, it's still just as horrible. Let's continue to listen.
Like, there are obviously real jobs out there that are good comparisons. Service sector, people pleasing jobs would be very similar. Those are like, I think, customer service type shit. But like if you're an accountant or if you're even like in sales, my interactions with clients was limited, way more limited than like constantly having to do this for 9 hours.
See, so there he says it himself. When he was doing sales, he was not constantly interacting with people. Like I said, he was selling ad space. He was trying to do brand deals for the real Young Turks. I bet you if he made in an 8-hour day, I guarantee if he made over 8 phone calls in that 8-hour day, which would be 1 per hour, I will kiss your fanny. I guarantee I'll. Oh, this guy's such a moron.
With like a back and forth interaction for 9 hours. That's what like sucks your social battery, and you just tap out after it.
No, I'm gonna tell you what. Okay, let me go full screen on this so everybody there's no clear. Okay, if you're doing a job, right, that you hate, that you just detest. That is what sucks the life out of you. That's what kills your soul. Is if you're doing a job that you just don't enjoy. That's what kills you. Period. Right? If I could sit here all day long for 7-8 hours and stream and talk and interact with you guys, that wouldn't kill me. We would have fun. We would laugh. We would cut up, right? That's as entertaining. If Hasan doing his streams for 8 or 9 hours a day is so life draining to him, then my dude, quit doing it and maybe go get one of those labor jobs that you say that you could do a whole lot better. Go get one of those labor jobs and make just a smidgen of what you're currently making salary wise, right? And be happy. Money's not everything. Does money make life easier? Without a doubt, 100% it does. No problem. No argument for me. Life makes things a lot easier in life, right? It does. We have to have it to get by. We have to have it to survive, right? But how much is too much? Or better question, how much is enough? This joker goes out and buys a $3 million mansion. He drives super sports cars and stuff around, right? He talks about, when he bought his mansion, he talked about putting Gucci wallpaper up inside of his streaming room. Really? Really? Dude, if this is such a taxing drain on you mentally and physically, then just quit doing it. Walk away. Go get a job in construction or go get a job in production in a factory somewhere, right? And here's the thing about it too. Anyway, let's just go back.
Yeah, think about it this way. Like, you give presentations for your job, right? Imagine giving a presentation for 9 hours straight. It's like, after a while, you would be like, I don't want to talk ever again.
Again, like I said, if that's how you feel, fine, dude. No argument. Just quit doing what you're doing, right? Just quit. It's not that hard, right? So one of Hasan's detractors, or not detractors, but probably one of his most harshest critics, and one that really kind of took him to task, Willie Mack. Good dude. I like Willie Mack. You know, he's cool. He's cool dude. Says this guy makes shit up for 9 hours a day, and his commute to work is walking into his 5th bedroom inside of his $3 million mansion, but somehow a real job is hard. Laughing my fucking ass off, right? Hasan, right, sees this, puts up the same little clip here that basically we just watched. We're not going to watch that again. I won't do that to you guys again, because listening to 2 minutes of this jackass is more than torture than anybody should have to go through. It says, after all, this is not Guantanamo Bay. You know, we're not down here being waterboarding people. He says, it is wild how this completely out of context clip made its way to Twitter so fast. I was talking about how much a 9-hour stream eats away at my social battery and how I can't socialize after. Comparing it to my sales job before, I recognize how fortunate I am every day. He recognizes how fortunate he is every day. However, I would really love to see Hasan go out here and try to do one of these jobs that takes and deals with, like, how about this? I would love to see Hasan go get a job and be like a service personnel in a restaurant somewhere, right? Talk about draining your social battery. Not only are you having to deal with customers constantly, right? But then you're also on your feet. You're having to take heat because maybe the cooks didn't get the order just quite right. You're having to take that kind of heat. You're on your feet, right? Most people don't tip real well. And as a server, you don't get paid a lot of money, base wages to begin with. So you're dependent upon the tip to make up for that. Yeah, Hasan, go do that. Or, I don't know, go work in one of those sales banks like I was talking about, where you're elbow to elbow with 30 or 40 other people in a tight, cramped room where there's probably not a real good air circulation. And they've got some roto caller out there just dumping calls on you constantly, where you're getting hung up on or yelled or cussed constantly. And you have to do it. Not because you want to, but you're having to do it to take care of yourself, to feed yourself, or to feed your family. There are men and women who get up every morning and lace up their shoes and go into a job that they really just cannot stand, because they're doing it so that their family has a roof over their head, that their children have food in their bellies. And they're thankless jobs. And you arrogant prick, you sit there in your $4 or $4 million mansion house, lamenting about how draining it is to sit in front of a webcam for 9 hours and talk. And you're so out of touch that you sit there and you say, I could go do a physical labor job and then go fucking do it, and don't ever stream again. Do us all a favor, quit streaming and go get a job working construction somewhere. Please do that. Please. Do that for us. I beg you to please do that for us. When Matt goes on to say, says, give Hasan a nursing job and have him change bedpans for a living. What the fuck is the logic here, Lamau? The most brain dead people are Hasan viewers. This Hasan viewer says, because one of Hasan's, I think she's actually like a mod for him, says, as someone who has worked 12-hour shifts with a 4-hour commute while going to uni full time, streaming is easily the hardest job I have had. The post-stream social exhaustion is so real, I don't know how anyone could do it every day. Mudahar quote tweets us saying, streaming is by far one of the easiest, most privileged jobs one can have. He's 100% correct. If you're successful, the rewards far outweigh any of the negatives compared to any service job, cybersecurity or nursing, and you'll find something actually exhausting. He's 100% correct. He's 100% correct. I don't even do cybersecurity, right? I just do, like, if you're looking at a help desk type situation, like if you're calling in for the help desk, I'm probably like tier 2, tier 3 of the help desk, right? I'm the person that you get sent to when the basic stuff just doesn't do it. And I have to think outside the box and I have to, come up with solutions. That's what I do every day. That and try to stop the constant onslaught of fish, people out there running phishing scams and just the spam email. That's what I do all day long, right? And I'm thankful for my job every day. I love my job. And so I don't understand. I don't, I it's stressful. It's because there's constant, unending wave of constant attacks coming in, phishing attempts and things of that nature. So it's you're on constantly, right? But some of the highlight things that I get to do is come in and stream and interact and talk with you guys. I love it. And I'm looking forward to the day when I'm retired and I can do it more. Now, truth be told, there are times when there's so much negativity crap going on that I made the choice to do, right? This was my choice. I have to accept responsibility that I chose to cover and talk about a lot of this negative crap and stuff, to the point to where, you know what? I was mentally like, I got to stop. I got to unplug for a bit. Right? And I had to. I just had to, for my own mental sanity. But that's because I did it to myself. It wasn't because I was socially or mentally drained from interacting with you guys. It had nothing to do with it at all. Zero. It had to do with the fact that my choices of the type of content stuff that I was covering, and I had to back up and relook and evaluate things like, I'm tired. I'm not going to cover that kind of crap anymore. I'm just not. I'm going to cover stuff like this. I can sit here and laugh at this out of touch, elitist, trust fund baby, because that's what he is. He's a trust fund baby coming from a very, very wealthy family. Guy's never known what it is to suffer or go without his entire life. He has no inklings, no idea, nothing. He doesn't know what it is to suffer. Period. Ever. And he wants to sit there. And then you got this. I'm going to tell you something. If you were truly working, so let's just do an idea here. So this person, Dimas, I don't know how the hell, whatever, says that they were working 12-hour shifts with a 4-hour commute. Well, right there, I'm going to be generous and say, okay, the 4 hours was a round trip, 2 hours there, 2 hours back. Okay, so that's 16 hours in a day, plus was going to university. So that's probably at least 4 hours, okay, right? So that's 20 hours. So you're telling me that leaves you 4 hours a day to sleep. That's it. Plus, I'm sure if you're depending on how you're commuting, like if you're riding a subway or a train or something like that. But if you're actually driving 2 hours each way, right? You're not sleeping, or at least, Lord Jesus, I hope you ain't sleeping, right? Unless somebody else is, driving and you're just, sitting in the seat next to them, right? But so you're telling me that you sat there and did that for 4+ years? Because I got news for you. If you're going to, if you're just getting in maybe 4 hours a day, nah. Yeah. Nah. I'm going to tell you something. The roughest time I ever had in my entire life of ever working was, let's see, it would have been back in the early 2000s. I'm going to say like 2001, maybe 2002, somewhere in there. I was living down in Shreveport, company I worked for. I was a field technician, covered the northern part of Louisiana, the eastern part of Texas, and the southern part of Arkansas. That was my service area. And it was a two-person area. There was two of us that covered that area. The guy that I worked with had to went out on medical leave. It's a story for a whole other time, but he was lying the whole time. But anyway, so he took medical leave for a solid year. So for a solid year, I did the work of two men or two people. to be more inclusive and appropriate there. It was two men because it was two men that had the job. And back then women were a real prevalent presence in IT field. It's better. Thankfully, we have more women doing IT work now, which I'm thankful for. But so for it's a little over a year, I did the work of two people. I was working at minimum 15 hours a day. I did it for 7 days a week. There was no days off. Was on call. And I was, like I said, I was working 15 hours a day, and I was driving all over Louisiana and Eastern Texas and, Southern Arkansas. And it, like I said, most days were 15, 16-hour days. No, I'll back that up. It wasn't 2000. I'll tell you exactly when it was, because we didn't have kids yet. So it would have been like in, because my oldest son was born in 98. So this would have actually been like 90, late 97, somewhere in there. Somewhere in 97 is when this happened. It doesn't matter. And there was times my wife had to actually get up and go with me because I was so exhausted that it was unsafe for me to be driving. And she would actually drive, and I would catch cat naps between going to the different job sites to work on things, because I would go in, work on things, maybe be there for 30 minutes, an hour, somewhere in there, and then load back up and I might have to drive a couple of hours to the next work site, that type of thing. And that's what I did for over a year solid before I got a day off, right? And it was like I said, I was working like 15 plus hours a day. Not only was I physically exhausted, mentally exhausted. So yeah, streaming for 8 or 9 hours a day, cakewalk, absolute positive cakewalk. But let's go back to these tweets. Enough about me. So this person saying they did 12-hour shifts, 4-hour commute, and was going to university. Mudahar takes exception to this, streaming. Okay, and then this Jas, I don't know who this is, says, fuck, I'm going to do bad faith arguments, giving a nurse or cybersecurity expert a camera, tell them how to talk about politics in front of 20,000 for 9 hours a day, every day for a year, to see how long they can go before they quit their harassment or lose viewerships because they suck. Well, okay, so let's break that down a little bit. You will do bad. Okay, give a nurse or cybersecurity expert a camera and tell them to talk about politics. Who says you have to talk about politics? That was his choice. You can get in front of a camera and you can talk about whatever you want to. You can talk about games. You can talk about gameplay. You can play games and talk. You can talk about anything and everything. You're not forced to talk about politics. That is a choice that he decided to make, because evidently he's passionate about it. And he gives shit takes about it, and that's why he gets so much blowback. Right? Period. They quit from harassment. He gets harassment because he is a shit person who gives shit takes. And when it's unarguably proven to him that his takes are wrong, he will double and triple down and play whatever victim card he wants to pull from his Rolodex that day. Or lose viewership because they suck. Well, guess what? It happens. That's part of streaming, right? So Willie quote tweets this person, right? Says, give Hasan a nursing job, have him change bedpans for a living. What the fuck is the logic here? Right? Exactly. Willie's correct. You're taking people and you're saying take them out of their element and force them to do something that they're not wanting to do, right? Person goes into the cybersecurity, they're there because that's what they want to do. They wanted to do cybersecurity, or they want to become a nurse, right? So Muli's right. Take Hasan, put him in as a CNA or something where he's having to change bedpans or clean up messy sheets, and because there was some sort of accident that the patient had, right? Or let him go work in a nursing home where he has to deal with patients that battle dementia, right? And God bless those men and women that do work in those environments, because they're called to do that type of stuff and work and have the patience of a saint to work with these people, right? You're comparing apples and oranges, you morons. Jesus. Willie Mack says the hardest part of content creation is getting the skill set to grow and keep an audience. After it's easy for 99% of creators. Nearly every other person working a day job has a harder day to day, because no matter how good you get at being a cashier, it still sucks ass. Well, you know what? Maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe the person that is a cashier, they may like it. They may like being a cashier because they have customers that come through that they get to know. And that might be their only social interaction that they get to do all day long is the customers that they build a I don't know what you call a relationship with, right? That you get to know them, that they have conversations, right, with them. That may be the only social interaction, and they look forward to that person coming in every morning and getting a cup of coffee on their way to work, and they get to talk for just a minute or two. Maybe they truly love their jobs. See, that's what I'm saying. It really doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter what you do for a living. It doesn't. If you're a police officer, or if you're a fireman, right? Some of them get a little bit notoriety, a little bit more glamorous type things, right? But it doesn't matter what you do. Be it a cashier at a gas station or the local bodega, right? Or if you're a nurse, or if you're wait staff in a restaurant, or you're a quick order chef at some greasy spoon. It doesn't matter as long as you love what you do, that's all that should matter. Because again, I go back to it, guys. If you're doing a job that you don't like, that's what sucks the soul out of you. Period. And being around the people that you're there, they can be some really good people that really love their jobs. But if you're doing something you don't want to do, seeing these people around you being happy and joyful and enjoying their job, that's going to be a tear on you as well, because you're miserable and you don't understand why these people are happy doing this. You can't, because you hate your job. And I understand I'm not out of touch here, guys. I'm not out of touch. I'm not one of these, sometimes we all have to do jobs that we don't like because we got bills we have to pay. I get that, right? I'm not unsympathetic to that. But if you're in a job that you just cannot stand, right? If you just can't. My advice to you is to be doing something to better yourself, to make yourself more marketable, to get into the job that you want to do. So that you can leave that and go do something that will make you happy. Because understand, it's that old adage, and it's 100% correct. If you find a job that you love, then you'll never work a day of your life. Because going and doing it is an enjoyment to you. It's something that you'll love to do. Period. Right? Now, me looking at like someone being a waiter or a waitress in a restaurant, that would be a horrible job to me. The idea of being up on my feet all day long and carrying food around, that to me would be absolute murder. Or like doing what my oldest son does, where he works in a production factory where they do welding, and he does welding and all this stuff, and he puts together these big boilers, and he has to do these pressure tests, which are extremely dangerous, and when those things blow up, people could get hurt or killed. Doing that type of work, wouldn't want to do it. For no amount of money would I want to do it, but he loves it, and he loves doing his job, and he loves going in there and doing it because that's who he is. So he loves his job, right? And so while I don't understand it, right, it's not for me. The fact that my son loves to do it, then that's all that matters. He's happy, right? But nobody should be looked down upon because you wouldn't want to do that job. Don't look down on them because, I wouldn't. No, every job, every person doing a job, and especially if they're doing a job that they love, has worth, it has value. Period. So Hasan, leaning into it because, well, he's Hasan and he's an idiot. So someone puts out this thing saying which. So this here is an oil rig roughneck, what they call roughneck, oil rig worker, right? One of the most extremely dangerous, rough, grueling physical job, right? I've got family in the oil industry, right? They've done jobs like this, the roughneck, right? Dangerous. Look at this job, covered in the mud and muck and stuff that comes out of these wells. I mean, this guy's covered in it. I mean, wouldn't want to do it. This is not a job I'd want to do. Not me, right? Says, what's harder than this, Hasan? Twitch streaming. Now, I'm sure, I'm not going to be uncharitable I'm sure he's just making a joke here, right? I'm sure he's whatever, right? But that's not funny, right? That's just how brain dead this guy really is, and how out of touch he really, really, truly is. It's just amazing to me how he just doesn't get it, right? Let's see here. So let's talk about this next series of tweets here. So this guy, Sam Thorpe, I don't know who he is. Gamer, D&D nerd, says Giga Himbo, whatever the hell that is. 222,000 followers. Hey, good for you, buddy. You got some social media presence there. Says Hasan is 100% correct, though. I've worked so many different jobs, and streaming annihilates your social battery. Again, if it's doing this damage to you guys, then don't do it. Because it's easy. That's why. Let's just be honest about it. It's easy. And these mental giants know that it's easy, but if they said that, well, yeah, but it's so taxing, it makes you feel sympathetic. The whole thing is they're trying to get you to feel sorry for them, have sympathy for them, and not realize that they've got one of the easiest jobs out there in existence to man, and they're getting mega rich off of it, right? They don't want you to see that, they're making bank off of this crap, right? They want you to feel sorry for them. One of the very few negatives of an otherwise fantastic job, I don't even see how this is controversial to people. All jobs have downsides. It seems like people just don't like hearing it from a rich dude talking about it. No, it's not that they don't have a problem. They don't like to hear rich people talking about it. What they don't want to hear is a rich person sitting there just making it sound like I don't know how to put it. When he sits there and he says that that doing that is worse than, like what I just showed you, like those roughnecks. Streaming's hard. No, it's not. It is not harder. There's zero risk to it. There's zero risk to stream. Those roughnecks put their lives on the line every day. And guess what? They don't make a fraction of the money that you do by plopping your ass in front of a camera and sitting there talking for 8 hours or 9 hours a day. Jesus. Chud Logic says, yes, people that work regular jobs do not like to hear pampered millionaires moan about how tough they have it. This has always been the case. Bingo. Thank you, Chud Logic. states it so much better than I did. And then this double shot comes in, especially when they're citing their Nepo baby job as reference for what the working class experience, right? The Nepo baby job, right? Which what again was talking about, right? Was he goes exactly. Hasan was using his job at the Young Turks, which he got because his uncle owns the business, as a comparison point. Normal sales jobs are hard, stressful, and come with a slew of downsides. That is, I highly doubt Hasan experienced while working at the real Young Turks. He's correct. He's correct. 100% he is. So let's talk about this Hasan. Okay, so back when Hasan signed this mega deal with Twitch, right, to stream exclusively there, right, signed a contract with him. He goes out to celebrate. He goes out and he buys this $2.74 million Hollywood home. Now, I understand that the housing industry out there in the housing market out there in LA and stuff is expensive. It's unsightly. It's ungodly, right? I understand that. I'm not stupid. But here's the thing. Nobody said he had to live in the Hollywood Hills, right? Nobody said he had to buy a 2.74 mansion. There are homes and places you can buy all over the United States that would be a fraction of the cost, and you would have the same amount of, space as far as square footage of home. Because understand something, all he has to have to do his job is a reliable internet service. That's it. That's it. Period. If you choose to live in Hollywood, right, and that's your, again, choice, right? And so when you come on and you talk constantly,
The world is wrong with you. You're 55, and I certainly expect better from you.
I'm sorry, I'll do better, Lion Q, Leo Convoy. I'm sorry. Pigeon salad, $20. As somebody who works 8 to 9 hours helping making motherboard for computers and airplane navigation systems, I love hearing privileged people say that sitting on their behind, silently watching YouTube videos is harder than 9 to 5. Exactly, Pigeon. Exactly. You sit there and you slurp your food and you watch a video or whatever, or you leave one playing and you get up and walk away for 20, 30 minutes, whatever. Yeah, that's tough job, Hasan. Tough job. Listen, here's the thing. If you want to take a break, I understand you need to take a break in the stream or put up a BRB, whatever, right? And then come back. Yeah, exactly. You're right, Zero. As someone who has done 12-hour streams before, you don't do 9+ hour streams unless you're having fun, love what you're doing. Exactly. That's what I've said. If you're enjoying what you do, then it's not work. Period. I don't care what you're doing, right? Just like those roughnecks doing that job, they love their jobs. They love what they're doing. They love the physicality of that, right? They love the camaraderie that they have with the other men and women that do those jobs, But I'm sorry, Hasan. This guy sits there and he tries to present himself as some sort of man of the people, that he's right out here with your struggles, and he's not. He is not. That is not who Hasan is at all, right? And nothing says that anymore, right? Nothing says that anymore. Then you guys remember this little Instagram picture that he put out? You guys remember this? Remember this right here? Make the rich pay. Then pay, Hasan. Pay. Right? Take all that money that you're making and give it to the government so that they can redistribute it, which is what you believe in, right? As a socialist, right? Redistribution of the wealth. Make them pay. Pay up, Hasan. Give them every penny that you ever made. Sell your mansion. Get rid of all of that. So I talked about how he's always been an affluent person. He's never suffered. He's never gone without. He doesn't know what it means to just struggle. He doesn't. He's never struggled a day in his life. Everything he's had has always been handed to me. Don't believe me? Don't believe me? Okay. Then how about this? How about this? Let this, why didn't you come up here? There we go. Let the man say it in his own words. This is an interview from, I can't remember when this was, what was it? Well, it says here it was 6 months ago. I don't know if this is like a re-upload. It doesn't matter.
So I grew up in Turkey to a relatively affluent family. And if you're like even a little bit affluent in Turkey, because of how massive the wealth gap is in a country like that, you're caked up in comparison to like American standards, where if a similar salary would not, or a similar amount of wealth would not make you, upper middle class even.
Hasan.
So there you go. The man, in his own words, says that he came from money, right? Came from money. He was caked up, right? To the point to where, I don't know. So, okay. So here's another one. Why this one didn't catch more steam, I don't know, right? But here's another example, right? Let's take a look at this here. So it says Hasan slammed by Twitch viewers over claims he earns as much as a doctor. Twitch star Hasan Piker has faced criticism after claiming during his stream that he earns the same amount of money as a doctor or partner in a law firm. The leading streamers on Twitch have long been pulling millions of views and thousands of subscribers each month. With streaming contracts being reported around $100 million, as well as major sponsorships, the content monetization being key, many creators have become incredibly wealthy off the back of their content. Over the years, the opportunities have risen for creators broadcasting live as streaming has continued to be more mainstream. One Twitch streamer who has remained at the top is Hasan Abi, aka Hasan Piker. Despite this, Hasan was quickly hit with waves of backlash by his viewers across socials after overclaiming his earnings are the same as those of a doctor's, right? So, anyway, let's see. Okay.
Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit about the house banner? Who fucking cares? These guys are so stupid. Like, I make like, 10-year doctor or like, law firm partner money. Okay.
So I wonder how much, just out of curiosity, we'll just go to Google here. We'll just ask Google. We'll say here, how much does a doctor make a year? So a physician, a doctor, right? So it looks here probably around, we'll say 80,000 to upwards of $400,000, right? Well, this a year. We'll say, where was it? We'll say out in California. So about 300, anywhere from 130 to 300,000, depending. He said tenured, so we'll split the difference. We'll go the medium there. Say probably about 150 to say $200,000 a year. How much does Hasan Piker make a year? Estimated $1 million to $1.5 million per year. A little bit of difference there, a little bit of discrepancy, huh? Again, if these numbers or estimates are right? If that's, if that's right? So I'm sorry, I don't think, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think doctors are making $1 million to $1.5 million a year. I'm sure lawyers, let's just see what does and this is really subjective because some law firms are better or larger than others, right? So about $100,000. Okay, that's in Arkansas. Let's say we'll just do it in California again, just for argument's sake. So they're making averages $122,000 a year, right? Which is maybe probably around the same, I think, probably for a doctor, right? Right. And Hasan was making $1 to $1.5 million a year. Yeah. Don't think so. Don't think so, Mr. Hasan Piker. Sorry. Idiot. And I wish that was all we had to talk about, but there's more. There's so much more, right? So some more of Hasan's, supporters come out, right? And they start attacking people that have nothing to do with anything, right? So this idiot, JJ, says Muda when it's time to tweet about Hasan versus Muda when it's time to talk about Palestine. So now we're going to drag in geopolitics into this, right? Right? Which everybody knows that Muda is like one of the top content creators that talks about geopolitics. I mean, he's echelon, right? For God's sakes, this idiot, right? I don't know who this is. C/user/Valerie says one relates to his work, one doesn't. And then JJ says he's a coward, right? Shockmouth comes in there and says, what about that racist emoji in your name, you racist? Of course, citing, he's got a watermelon there. Yeah, Eric Kahn says, you people are so miserable. Why does a gaming content creator have to share his views on a political affair? Right. But hey, listen, Mudahar, not to run, not to hide. He accepted the challenge and got right out there in a Discord call with Israel and with Palestine and Israel. And guess what? He is doing his best to broker peace right now. Good on you, Mudahar. Good on you. Mudahar goes on to say, on streams I've maintained that this is a conflict that shouldn't exist. With the death toll rising and innocents displaced, I would hope this conflict ends at some point before the end of my life. This is how most people treat this complex situation. We don't like seeing dead children. If you ask me this on stream, you'd hear those exact words relayed back to you. If you want to see change, write to your MP and ask them to discuss this on your behalf, right? Yeah. I don't understand how people go after people, for example, like Mudahar or anyone else that are not Twitch poll content creators, right? They don't talk about geopolitics. I don't understand this. Anyway, but enough ranting, raving. I've ranted and raved for almost an hour on just Hasan, right? Because he's a blinking idiot. He is an absolute, complete, total blinking idiot who's so out of touch with the average person out here. He comes from such a place of privilege and affluency that he doesn't even know how the average person out here, American, let alone people of the world, struggle. He doesn't. He does not know. He's out of touch. He has no understanding of that. But so enough of that. Let's have some palate cleansings. Let's laugh. What is this? And just you guys ready for that? Let's do some palate cleansing. Let's have some fun, right? So this first one's coming from the one and only Pizzle Pop, right? So let's check out what Pizzle Pop has for us to watch this morning.
What you're witnessing is a two-toed sloth in attack mode. Now, to the untrained eye, a sloth in attack mode is almost indistinguishable from a sloth in any other mode. Oof, but trust me, if Leslie had waited another 8 seconds to move her hand, she would have had a bad time. Why are they called two-toed sloths? Well, they only have 2 toes on their hands. And you're probably
Obviously.
thinking, wait,
Obviously.
but they do have 3 toes on their feet, so
Yes.
couldn't they still be called a 3-toed sloth? No, another sloth already got that name. The only way we can categorize sloths is somehow based on fingers and toes, and it's really complicated. This is a 2-toed sloth.
There
And
you
this
go.
is a 2-toed sloth's butt. I decided to help him and remove
Well,
this
that's
little
nice
twig
of
from
you.
his butt because
Yeah.
Lord knows if I let him do it, he wouldn't get to it in 3 to 5 business years.
Oh, my
And just when I
Lord.
thought we were becoming friends, he launched a surprise attack, which was predictably unsuccessful. He's terrible at this. But everybody cheer him on, clap for him. He tried his best.
There you go. And trying is half the battle, folks. Well, thank you, Miss Pizzle, for sharing us and showing us what an attack sloth looks like. What's this next one? No context humans. How dreams get destroyed in milliseconds. Okay.
You want to poke it?
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because
Poor kid's face. Oh, look at it! It's just that quick. Boom. It's like he's like look at watch him. He's happy, and then boom. He realizes what happens, and it's just like look at that. He's crushed. He's just absolutely crushed. Poor kid. Poor kid. Well, what else? What's this next one? Well, we got so we got a farm boy. How you know he's a farm boy? Because he's got that John Deere tractor on a hat. I bet you it's a John Deere tractor from the colors.
Sprayed tobacco before?
Oh, it was like an actual backhoe, like the one over there, but
Okay.
it was a cat. It ran pretty nice.
Okay.
Is that a bit bigger? One?
What?
Is that a bit bigger? Is that the same
That's
size?
a 4075 back there.
So that's 75 horse?
75 horse. That's a new model. Just come out with back in the fall.
Oh, that'd be a nice machine to have. 75
yeah, it's got a
horse.
nice price tag on it too. Somewhere around 50,000.
Boom! Well, throw me out of the seat. I like that it's got stabilizers, so if you're digging something really hard, you don't tip
You're not
one
gonna turn
way.
over. Well, if you're gonna
The thing about getting in it is this is a little bit in your way. If it was over here, I'd
no, I can see that.
yep. And those pedals are also a little bit, but I like all the places to
All
put
the
stuff.
things to put your gadgets in.
Yeah, you can put your cup holder.
your sweet
You
tea.
can put- oh, I
You like sweet tea?
Yep. I like that you got a nice big beefy
Good
front
bulky
axle.
axle, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah. So how many pounds is this tractor roughly?
Tractor weight or how much can it pick up?
How much can it pick up?
You're probably looking somewhere around 2,200 pounds.
Wow, that's a lot of.
That's a lot of weight, isn't it?
I could lift some big rocks with that.
Oh yeah, definitely. Nice big old bucket.
Big heavy material bucket.
Oh, geez, that kid was in heaven. I guarantee he has. I don't know. It could just be a kid that's fascinated with farm equipment. But something tells me he probably grows up on a farm. He probably, kid working harder than Hasan. Maybe. What's this here? Noble Ron. It would take a lot of sedatives to get used to that. My iguana thinks he's a dog. Something else, man. I don't these exotic pets like this. I don't know, man. It's not for me, but hey, each to his own. What is this coming from Deserto? The guy lost his eye to cancer, so he put a flashlight inside the empty. Somebody needs to get this to Toxic Piplup ASAP. Let's see what we got here. Is this something maybe we need to get with Toxic about? Let's see. Pretty cool.
I like to call it my titanium skull lamp. It's perfect for reading in the dark as well.
Freaky, man. And that's kind of weird. That's kind of weird. I'm not gonna lie. That's I don't know. Maybe we need to get him in touch with Toxic. I don't know. What do you guys think? Maybe help Toxic get him a light eye or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, let's see. Is there anything going on out there? Let's see. Looking here. I don't think. Let's see, is Nerdy streaming this morning? See, can we rate into Nerdy? Is he doing anything this morning? Let's see here. No, he doesn't have nothing scheduled, so he may be having to work today. Who knows? Chud Law. Talk about it. Thanks for coming and hanging out with me. Thanks for the donos. I appreciate that. Much appreciative. Sorry about not getting but there was just nothing out there that I really felt like covering Saturday morning for a members only stream. Maybe I really don't want to, anyway. I'm going to think about do something on those days when there's just really nothing that I want to talk about, then we still do our member stream and do something. I'm not for sure. Whatever. I'll come up with something because I want to make sure to give you guys your money's worth and for supporting the channel. Remember, Squatching should be getting her stuff. I think this week. I think she sent me a message. She got the monitor. She got the monitor in this weekend, so I think the PC is supposed to be being delivered. I think not the first of this week, if I remember correctly. So that's good. So we can, she's gonna be able to back up and doing her thing, which is good. Because I know her PC was really starting to really struggle with stuff. So I think she's going to really enjoy this new PC. But anyway, listen, don't know about a stream tomorrow. We'll see. I've got an interview I've got to get edited and get up because Chewing the Fat. I'm going to work on that today, try to get that up and out to you maybe around Wednesday or so. Get that out there for you guys. It's a really good interview. I really enjoyed it. And we should have some Clear as Mud members only stuff coming up. Or we got a recording course go out to members only first, and then it will be released to you guys as well. Pizzle edited this one, and I'm really she sent us some teasers in our group chat. It's pretty impressive. She really had some fun with it, and I'm happy about that. So anyway, listen, until next time, remember guys, keep your powder dry and look for me in the funny papers.
Maybe I'm a little young, but you don't know.